Hello, darling. This is River Roaring, celebrating the luminous life force in us all. Hello, darling. It's River Roaring. I've loved this issue of data privacy as long as there's been data. I was, as a lawyer and lobbyist for over 20 years in Austin at the Texas legislature and a little at the national level. I worked on data privacy, among other things. So I did lobbying on this in the basically at the Texas legislature. And there's plenty to do there. So I've cared about this issue since I was in my earlier career. And I officially closed the law office about 10 years ago and was starting my second career before that, and have only become more interested in this topic and learned more about it and taken more steps in my own life to become more data private. And here's why. Why would it matter? If I want to be a luminous life force in the world, I want my sovereignty. And that's why it matters. To have a luminous life force, especially going forward in the new world that's coming forward now, right now, I want sovereignty. The more sovereignty, the more luminosity. So I want to describe a little bit more about that. Data. These are all of my feelings and my beliefs, and I just offer them in case they're helpful to you. I'm not trying to persuade you of anything that doesn't sound right to you. So this is just information for those who have ears to hear and are interested. I deeply believe that data is the most important commodity right now for buying and selling in the globe. And it's certainly in the top few. Data. That means your data. That means what you do. That means what you do, where you go, who you talk to, what you say, what you buy, how you spend your money, and your health care and your body, and what is your body doing right now is very, very valuable information. It's extremely valuable in dollars, and there are lots of companies collecting your habits and not paying you a penny, and then selling your habits on the market to other people. So I have three main reasons I care about data privacy. One is I don't want to be sold as a commodity for free. Nobody's paying me for that. Now, if you pay me for it, we're talking about a whole different thing. But if you're grabbing my habits, my data, things about me, and then you're selling that to someone else, you're making me the commodity, but you're not paying me anything. No, I'm not your commodity. I am sovereign. And a piece of having us work, this is actually, instead of selling my information, this is the same basic thing, but AI is actually forced labor. Because when I do the CAPTCHA answers, and there are many different parts of the internet and in my communications where if I'm not careful, I'm training AI while I'm using the product. And I don't want to train their AI for free. That's my labor, and I don't want to do that for free. So my first number one reason for data privacy is I don't want to be sold as your commodity with nothing coming to me. So I don't want to be sold for the benefit of the man, or have forced labor and train their AI for them either for free. I don't want to do that. My second reason for loving data privacy is just privacy. I want my own privacy. I do a lot of things that are really radical and really crazy, and if I want anyone else to know about that, I'll tell them about it. I otherwise don't want people watching me in ways I don't agree to. So my privacy and my client's privacy. For 20 years, I was a trial attorney and lobbyist, and I had a legal duty to keep confidential the information I got on my clients. That was a legal duty. So I was not going to be putting their information in places that aren't private. And now I take it just as seriously, if not more seriously, as a sexual healer. I get to know intimate secrets about my clients, and I'm not about to put their information somewhere where other people could find that information. So my privacy and my client's privacy, basically keeping people out of our business. And then the third one is actually the most important to me of all. The third reason I believe in data privacy is so important is I don't want to be actually controlled and manipulated by the man. And I say the man meaning the owner of all the big data. So what do I mean by that? I love the movie Social Dilemma. The movie is a documentary called Social Dilemma, and it's very informative. It's a documentary that shows exactly how these large companies, and they focus on the social media aspect, and these large social media companies are gathering data, not so they can know what you do. They don't actually care that much about you. They're collecting it because using that data, they can turn around and control you. So they show in that movie exactly how it's done in one small segment of the data world, which is social media. So these companies are not ultimately collecting information about all of your habits so they can simply sell it, although that's a really good reason because it's very valuable. But even more valuable to them is taking that information and turning around and manipulating you and controlling you. And if you think that's not possible, that's quite far from the truth. In fact, most of the public is currently under manipulation right now from this system. I'm not kidding at all. I'm talking about the mainstream media and all the people who are believing everything they're hearing there. That is already that control mechanism coming back and trying to mind control you because they know everything about what you like and how you think and your habits and where you go and who else you hang out with and how you guys talk to each other. So the three reasons I think data privacy is really important is, number one, I ain't your hoe unless you pay me. No, I don't want to be sold as a commodity with no money to me. Number two, it's none of your business. I just like my privacy for me and my clients. And number three, you ain't the boss of me. You're not going to turn around and take the information you have and then start controlling me. So I ain't your hoe, none of your business, and you ain't the boss of me. Those are the three reasons. And was thinking, how do I address this subject? I've been working with it so long in my own life, and I've been not only learning about it, but implementing data privacy for so long. How could I sum this up? And then it came to me, of course, a top 10. Just put it into 10 main points. So that was easy. So this is Rivers' top 10 data privacy tips for 2025. It's for 2025 because who knows what the tips will be a few years from now with technology changing. Number one, surfing the web. Connect to the internet at all times through a VPN. So a VPN is a virtual private network, I believe. I think that's what it stands for. Virtual private network. It's VPN. And I use Proton VPN because they're a data privacy company. They are offshore and they are in a country that has the most data privacy protections. That's their choice corporately. And they design all of their software exclusively with data privacy in mind. I totally trust Proton and Proton VPN. Every device I have, be it my phone, a desktop, a laptop, all my devices have VPN on them. And when I connect to the internet, which is basically the VPN is always on my devices. So that if I connect to the internet at any time, I'm going through a VPN. Why? The VPN masks my IP address. Who cares about that? What's an IP address? Every one of your devices has an IP address. It's like a identification number. So every single device you have has its own unique identification number, and whenever you connect to anywhere on the web, they can see which identification number is connecting. So that means they can know exactly who you are just because you connected with some company on the internet or someone on the internet. If you use a VPN, it masks your identification number on your machine and your location. So every time I get on the internet, the companies I'm contacting actually don't know which machine it is, they don't know which identification number it is, and they don't know where I am, because your identification number sends you straight to your city where you are. So use a VPN to surf the web. Number 2, searching the web. Actually using a search engine, if you still do that. Use the most private search engine you can find. Right now, for me, it's Brave. I use Brave search engine on, like I said, I have 4 devices. I use Brave on all 4 devices. All the other search engines are off. I definitely don't touch Google search engine, and I don't have other ones in any defaults on my browsers on my devices. So search engine, use the most private one. For me right now, I think that's Brave. Number 3, Google. Get far away from Lord G. Google just has its own category in the top 10. It's just all by itself, because Google is a global corporation, and their mission, last I looked, is basically to gather every piece of data on the globe and control it. If I'm not mistaken, and maybe they've softened their tone a bit, but when I decided I needed to get off Google, it took 2 or 3 years. They had their slimy tentacles in me in so many different ways, I couldn't see straight. Yes, I was on Gmail back at that time. Yes, I was on so many pieces of Google. I had the business account, whatever they call it, and I was using probably at least 10 or 15 different Google services inside of that account, and I would frequently use them as Google Maps. I would use sometimes on my device, and all over the place. So actually untangling myself from Lord G, Google, that has taken a long time, and I am 100% free from Google. I do not have a Google account whatsoever. I'm off of the whole Google platform. The only time that I know that I interact with Google is I will go in through my private browser, through my VPN, and I will pull up Google Maps, and I will type in 2 locations for directions, and then I will print or take notes from that so that I can drive straight to my destination without turning on any location services or GPSs. And then I click out of Google Maps. Google never learns who I am. They don't know me from my account number, because I have none with them. They don't know which IP address I'm coming in on to use the map. They don't know what location I'm in when I log into the map, and they don't know where I'm going, because I'm not using Google Maps as I drive around. So they just know, like, some strange computer typed in the address and looked at it and then logged out. That's Google. Yeah, this is so fun, isn't it? Actually, it's really, really fun to be clean of data, because I'm not going to be the low-hanging fruit when the totalitarian tyrants come to get us using all the data they've got in their net. Number 4, your location. So I always have location services off. Always have location services off on every device. Even better, I almost always leave home when I leave home without any device on me. If I don't have a device on me, it certainly doesn't know where I am, and it certainly can't listen in on me when it's off, like Apple was caught doing. So best of all for location is to just leave location services off at all times, all devices as a default, and never even leave home with your device. And then they don't know all my habits of where I go and what I do every day and who I'm with. Also, for location, I leave my devices in airplane mode as a default at all times. So if I have my phone turned on to cellular service, it is only long enough to see if I have any text messages, see if I have any phone calls, and do some returning on text and phone call. That's really about the only reason I'd have my phone off at airplane mode. Now, I do use my phone in airplane mode on the Ethernet. I'm going to get to that one in number 10. So right now, your location, always have location services off on all your devices. Leave home as often as you can without holding any device at all with you. Have your devices in airplane mode as a default at all times, unless you are going to use the cellular service and then turn it back to airplane mode. If you can, I know some people have kids and they need to be ready to catch a call. I would then talk about, that's going into a too big of a digression. In addition to these best practice tips, if you're going to leave your airplane mode on as often as you can, leave your device home as often as you can, I still leave my location services off every device. A lot of apps want my location service on, and I tell them, you can go fuck yourself. I'm not using your app. So right now I use no apps that require location services. And that is one of the main reasons I'm not on WhatsApp, which a lot of people have invited me into. All right. Number 5, your loved ones. Never share your contacts with another app. Every time an app asks me if they can look at my contacts, no. That's no. No, I'm not going to, for free, give you every person I know. Name, address, phone number. Forget it. Heck no. I don't know of any data company who has access to my contacts outside of Apple where I keep my contacts. I don't know of any. I think 0 is the answer to that one. If you want to know who all my loved ones are, you can go sit on it. No. Number 6, your communications. Use encrypted services. So I definitely am a fan of Signal. I have seen one data privacy complaint on them, and it's the smallest complaint that I've seen for any company. So Signal is a free app. They use end-to-end encryption, meaning that even the company does not have the messages. And that's rare. So if some lawyer subpoenaed Signal and was like, give us all the messages River sent last year, they'd be like, nope, we don't have any, can't help ya. So I like that. I like that a lot. They don't know what the heck I'm saying. Definitely on communications, you've got to stay away from Gmail. Gmail, even when it came out so long ago, I remember when it came out, Gmail, they were like, we're going to give you guys a free email, and all we're going to do is look at every word you say. And everyone flocked over there. Gmail definitely looks at every single email. They say it out loud, and they fucking totally sell your information. So if you're using Gmail, you are just totally, literally being used. You are literally being sold. Literally you're being sold, and you're not getting one penny if you're using Gmail. I would just get way away from Gmail. And I don't use Meta for any communications other than very few Facebook messages come through. But as soon as someone I care about messages me on Facebook, I'm like, hey, let's get off this platform immediately. I don't want to be talking to you here. So use encrypted services for your communications with people. Pro tip, don't use a communication service that requires ... location services to be on, which some of them do. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. Number 7, your body. do not share your biometric or health data. Period. So for me, no, I do not see any doctor who would share my data for any reason whatsoever. In fact, I almost see no doctors anyway. I see some health providers that are not licensed physicians because I don't believe in that practice very much. I wouldn't ask their opinion about anything. However, I do have healers and healthcare providers such as a homeopath, a doctor of Oriental medicine, and I've talked to their offices and they would not share my data with anybody for any reason. And they would also contact me first if someone asked for my data. So there, it's not impossible. Don't do business with people who sell your information. So healthcare providers, anybody who has any of my health information, which is very, very few people, they don't share it. And I've talked to them about that. I never share my health data online for any reason. I don't have any kind of wearable. I actually have a heart issue, which is another story for another day. And I was advised by an interesting entity that I need an EKG, which I didn't know what that was, electrocardiogram. And they have a device that's an electrocardiogram taker for $100 instead of paying like $1,000 or $2,000 through doctors and everything. So I got it. It came to me in the mail, and then they're like, oh, and you have to give us your data when you use this device. I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. No, I'm not doing it. So I'm right now talking to the company, like, is there a way for me to collect my data without you having it? Because I'm not interested in giving you my health data so you can go sell it. And I will not use the device if I cannot keep my own health data. It's just very simple. It's no problem. I'm actually a healthy person, so I'm healthier every time I say no to some of these companies and their devices. And when I say information about your body, I say health data, and I also do not have health insurance as a specific point that no, because that would give my health data and my body's data to probably like 5,000 companies, because these health insurance companies sell the hell out of this information to all their conglomerates and aggregate, they call it, they're not aggregate, all their partner companies, they have a million partner companies. Everyone's sharing your health data, believe me. I'm not even close to giving them my money and my data for free of what's happening inside my body. No. Okay, and then I talk about health data and biometric because it's your body. For biometric data, I stay away from places that have a lot of cameras. That includes police officers and some security officers, but especially police. They're often wearing several cameras. Their cars are covered in cameras. Those cars that drive around with no drivers here in Austin have about 100 cameras. I literally shield my face from those cars because I'm not giving you my biometric information for free. And basically, I avoid places that have a heavy amount of cameras if I can. And here's my number one tip for the biometric. I wear a visor. And I'm in Austin, Texas, where there's a lot of sun anyway, but I wear a visor. The same thing would be like a baseball cap. And then that visor is covering my face from most cameras almost all the time. And so my face just isn't for sale. Yeah, even on the internet, I don't have as many pictures as some people do of the face, but I know there's some that's unavoidable on sharing information. So, number 8, your money. Do not share your financial information online. I use paper statements only for financial information. I went on my credit union. I do not use a major bank because of data privacy. I wouldn't even think of it. So in my credit union, who I've talked to about their data privacy before, they wanted me to go online to do, some other company made me do something that was online with my credit union. I opened an online account there. I immediately saw their notice of privacy. Did I read it? Yeah, I read it because it said they own my private financial data. So what did I do? I'm River. I told them, no, shove it. I wrote a note to the CEO of the credit union outlining my serious concerns, and I don't use the online thing anymore, nor would I. It's not your data, it's me. Do not sell my financial data. And even though my credit union is really good, they had hired this third-party service to do the online banking part, which was a large corporation. I didn't know who they were, and they were the ones saying they own it. I'm like, no, you don't, and I'm no longer online. You cannot have anything. And that definitely goes for Venmo. I mean, when Venmo came out, they were also like, hey, we're going to be this really cool company that puts everything online and everyone could see everyone's finances. Like, what? No, fucking thank you. I have a friend who's a therapist who was telling me about this other therapist who uses Venmo for her clients, and my friend therapist was saying, therapist number 2, she was like, I can see all her clients. Like, that's violation of her confidentiality as a therapist. I'm not putting my or anyone else's I know's information on a financial app for them to take information, show other people, sell it. No. My financial information is in my purse. And actually, there's actually an extra pro tip on this one. I am with Quicken as a bookkeeping application, who I don't like. I don't like Intuit and Quicken, but I spent some time looking for a financial, like all I want to do is reconcile my bank accounts on my hard drive on my computer with an electronic app. And I want to be able to put recurring payments in there and stuff. So I don't want to connect to anybody online with my financial app. Why? Because of what I'm talking about right now. You want to grab my financial data and then sell it? Fuck you. So I started researching what other app could I use that would be more private, would not try to get online all the time like this Quicken does. Guess what? There is none. There's like this one really weird small app that doesn't get online. It's very hard to use. I'm like, oh, I can't really use this. So that means every single financial app that I can find, every single bookkeeping app I can find right now, literally is a requirement of the app that you go online and share your financial data. It's so hard to believe, but that's where we're at. So here's what River did. What did River do? This is the pro tip. I have Quicken. I've had it for many, many years. I have an older version. And it's trying to get online without my permission, even though I've turned off. So first of all, get whatever financial app you're using, if any, to reconcile your own accounts. Number 1, turn off all of the online functions of the app. Just turn those off. So I had all the online functions turned off on Quicken, and it was still trying to get online all the time when I was using the app to do a bunch of really stupid stuff, like give me more advertisements and things like this, but that's online and they can transfer the data. So I'm at no. So what does River do? I unplug my internet and then I use my Quicken. I don't like Quicken, but I can't find a better one. So I unplug the internet altogether and then I use my Quicken so it cannot get online. And guess what? It starts to throw a baby fit and starts throwing fits in front of me, and then I use Apple to force quit every time and just like, shut up. And I found out that I don't lose any data. Every time I get done with new data in there, I back it up on my own hard drive anyway. But so pro tip, if you're using a financial reconciliation type of app, unplug the internet from your machine when you use that app and then get out of the app and then plug it back into the internet. Never have the app on when the internet's connected. That's my pro tip. Number 9, your purchases. Don't share anything optional with anyone. So I'm often shopping online. I still do that, absolutely. I'm shopping, I'm at checkout, and they're like, hey, can we text you about this and that? I'm like, no. Why? Because my mobile number is really valuable, and that's usually a third party, that not the company I'm buying from. That's usually a third party going like, can we help you by using your mobile number for something that helps you? I'm like, no, because I know you want to go sell it. And then also they're like, hey, and also we can store your credit card information to help you out. I'm like, no, you can't. So don't share any optional item with anyone online when you're purchasing things. And finally, tip number 10, close your wireless open door. Use only Ethernet at home and office. So this has been a really big one for me, and there are several really exciting benefits when it comes to EMFs from these data privacy tips, but I'm not going to cover those in this podcast. Inside my home and office, there is no Wi-Fi on for privacy reasons. There's other reasons as well, but privacy alone is a good enough reason. When my Wi-Fi is on, that is susceptible to outsiders tapping in to see what I'm doing online, and I'm not interested in that. So there is no Wi-Fi on in my home or office at all, ever, much less at night, forget it, but ever. Unless I have a guest and they're like, will you turn the Wi-Fi on? And I'm like, yes, I will. I will turn it on for you. And then as soon as they leave, I switch it back off immediately. So no Wi-Fi in my home. Instead, with my iPhones and my laptop, I use a Ethernet wire and an adapter. So what that means is my iPhone, I'm in my house, I'm on my iPhone. It is fully functional, better than wireless, far better than wireless connection through an Ethernet wired connection. It's functional on every single app I use, every single function on the entire phone, except texting and telephone itself, which is that cellular service that I turn off airplane for some reasons. Otherwise, if I'm not using my telephone or text app, which I momentarily use and then I back out, if I'm not doing that, my iPhone is using the internet through a wire, an Ethernet wire and an adapter. It has a far, far better connection to the internet than it would over wireless, and it's private. People in the city of Austin cannot use their machinery and tap into what I'm doing through my Ethernet wire. It's on a wire. And also, my iPhone is in airplane mode. So my iPhone's Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and all that is always turned off 100% of the time. And I'm in airplane mode about 98% of the time. And during any of that time that I'm in airplane mode and wireless is turned off, and I'm in airplane mode, I am still fully surfing the web, fully using the Signal app to communicate with people, fully using every single app in my entire phone, except telephone and texting services. So it's such a win-win. It's so clean feeling. My home feels so clean. And just the privacy side of things, here's the bottom line and here's the summary for me. No, of course I cannot keep all of my data off of all companies and all servers. No, it's not possible for me in the lifestyle I want to have, which is living a really integrated and connected life here in the United States of America, 2025. No, I can't keep all the data off of everything. Right, I'll just tell you, Amazon pretty much knows almost everything about me just from what I buy. They just know. And Apple, they know almost everything about me because I use their devices, but Apple has strong privacy laws and policies. And I watch that. I know they aren't perfect. And I keep an eye on that. If there were a time where Apple went all the way over to the dark side, in my view, I would move away from them. It would be hard. But there are companies who know a lot about me through data. But what I'm doing here is, when it comes time beyond data collection to full-on totalitarian control of us because they have our data, I'm not going to be the low-hanging fruit there. So This is the real bottom line. I know my data is in a few places, and most of those places I know where they are, and I know what they do with my data. Not all, but most. But I'm also, if you look at these tips, I've followed every single one of these tips already in my life. So I'm also not on like probably 80% of all the databases out there that sell personalized information to people. When everyone's selling everyone else's location services, IP address, when Google's selling everything everywhere, when they're selling your contacts and who you know and love and everything you say to them from your communications and your biometric data, your health data, financial data. There's a lot of those. I'd say 80% of those databases I'm not in. That's what I'm doing here. So when the totalitarians come in to squeeze and control humans through the information they have on them, they don't know me that well. I'm not the low-hanging fruit. I'm not in their snares. I am not paying attention to their control mechanisms, and they don't know as many of my own habits and ways to get through to me. So no, I'm not the low-hanging fruit when it gets really tight, when totalitarian squeeze gets tight, which is coming in the next few years. So I highly recommend keeping our sovereignty by keeping our data to ourselves. And I said my top 3 reasons are, I ain't your hoe, it tain't none of your business, and you ain't the boss of me. I'm saying that to the man. If you agree with this, join me, and these are my top 10 tips. 1, surfing the web, connect to the internet through a VPN. 2, searching the web, use the most private browser. 3, Google, just get away from Lord G. 4, your location, always have location services off. 5, your loved ones, never share your contacts with another app. 6, your communications, use encrypted communication services, end-to-end encryption, if possible, end-to-end encryption. Number 7, your body, do not share your biometric or health data. Number 8, your money, do not share your financial information online. Number 9, your purchases, don't share anything optional with anyone. And number 10, close your wireless open door. Use Ethernet only at home and office. I hope these tips are helpful for you. And I hope that you, as a result, use some if you feel like they're calling to you. And as a result, that you maintain all of your privacy and all of your sovereignty, and that thus your life force shines even brighter, your luminous life force. Because I'm on earth to support those who are called to bring maximum love and light into their lives. Liberated self-expression in all realms, where all is sacred, connecting you to create a cosmic web of love and light throughout the realms. And I also want to hear from you. So leave a comment or shoot me an email by visiting my site at riverroaring.com and clicking Get Started to share your question, your reflection, or your insight. Together, we can step into a more harmonious vibration. We can fly higher, shifting human consciousness forever for the highest good of all beings. May the love be with you, my darling. May the love be with us all.